Hi guys, I just wanted to do a video about Ed Sheeran today. He's on the front cover of one of the main publications, bravely talking about his cocaine use, and it's just inspired me to do a video. I've got so much respect for Ed Sheeran openly talking about his cocaine use, because it's been made really dirty and like a weird taboo by the British press, and many careers of celebrities or people in the public eye have been ruined and by them getting pictured using it or with it. And it really annoys me when people are shamed for doing drugs or when they're caught doing drugs, because it's ingrained, it's part of our culture, part of the British culture, and it's so easy to get swept up into using drugs. And it's just the norm now. It's more abnormal people not using it, especially from my perspective. But it's really brave talking about it, and I just wanted to do a video on it. It's inspired me because I battled hard with being open about talking about my drug use. As much as I was battling with the drugs, talking about drug use isn't nice. You feel vulnerable doing it, but I feel like I've got enough valuable experience. I've learned from enough mistakes, and my journey truly is fucking hard enough to make it worthy of sharing and valuable to share, especially with the platform that I've got, you know, and the content that I used to create to build it. But yeah, I was worried. I'm not going to lie to you. I was really worried about what people would think, what business I'd lose, what my family and my wife's family and people in the public would think if they saw it. When you work in the public eye, even on the small social media level that I do, everyone can potentially see what you're talking about. And that really, really worried me, being judged by people in my life, you know, like my thoughts went to everyone, you know, like the teachers at my kids' school or my wife's friends or family, and it worried me, you know, it worried me that they'd think I was a degenerate or dirty. And Ed is a global superstar on a massive, massive stage, so it must have been so hard for him to make that decision for no personal benefit at all, you know, apart from the feeling you get that you're doing the right thing and sharing your experience on your platform to help people going through a similar struggle. And I guarantee you people in his management team, you know, the corporate side of things, would have advised him against it. But look, I just wanted to do a video saying that him speaking out definitely will help others open up about it and potentially reevaluate their relationship with drink and drugs. Ed talks about in this article, it's heartbreaking really, it really touched me. He talks in this article and says that he feels it would be disrespectful to use cocaine again after Jamal Edwards, his close friend, died the night before they was due to shoot a music video. These guys were really close. I actually met Jamal when I first started to blow up on social media, and he contacted me and just simply didn't want to do any work. He just simply wanted to take me for a Nando's and give me some advice, what he had learned from the industry. And he was such a nice guy and passionate and simply wanted to help people. And it's obviously clear that this has really affected Ed. I can't even comprehend what it must be like to lose someone that close to you like he did. So young, so talented, someone that had such an impact on his life. You know, he gave Ed his break, and he's now one of the biggest stars in the world. It's so sad. But Ed talks about his drug use affecting his mental health, which I can really relate to. One thing I will share with you now is you don't realise how low and depleted drink and drugs makes you feel until you stop taking them and you start feeling happy. You end up, in the end, just drinking and using drugs to stop the hangover and to stop the anxiety and feeling shit, and that's how you get hooked. That's when you know you're in too deep. And Ed talks about using drugs twice a day. He went from a casual user to a weekly user to daily on his own, and now he's managed to stop. I mean, it's inspiring. I was blown away by this. Now, this is probably a long shot, but I'd love to get him on the Menace to Sobriety podcast and talk to him openly. I think that people in these positions talking openly and just having a candid chat is so powerful for people out there. I mean, there's no chance that's going to happen, but I would love for him to just even watch the podcast. So please tag him in the comments, and who knows, maybe he can help me on my little mission to break the stigma attached to drink and drug use. But Ed says he doesn't want to be sober or an alcoholic. He wants to be in between, and I think that's great. And I think that inspires people to just start looking at what they're doing and reevaluating their drink and drug use. But listen, sobriety isn't as hard and scary as people think. All you've got to do is replace the negative things you use to cope with life with positive things, and then you'll become addicted to how good you feel. You know, every now and then I couldn't have a drink without getting on the packet, and today I'm 161 days sober, and I love it. I feel good, I look good, and I'm looking forward to being the best father and partner I can be possible, and you can do that too with a little bit of work. Anyway, I've really gone on here, but my life now feels like a positive movement, whereas before I was full of regret and anxiety. I don't want to look back and lose any more time. So if you're feeling that same thing, go check out my podcast, Menace to Sobriety, and please tag Ed in this, and who knows, maybe one day I could get him on to have a talk about his journey, because just reading a little tiny piece of it has really inspired me. Thank you, guys.